Hello and welcome to the show. We are here today on GTA 5 for some more racing. This time we're going to play a round of Guess the Track because it's always fun to see. We are going to be, well, this is inspired by a real world circuit. We have got the Issi Rally. It's essentially a mini Countryman. Now we have been told that it's going to be fine to go racing around here. If this is a massive crash fest, it's Brayson's fault. We have done this before in a video that never, well, in a thing that was filmed but never made a video because it wasn't very good. But the car isn't the best to drive from what I remember, although I can't remember much about it. I think the brakes are very good. But we shall see how it all pans out. And yeah, as ever, see if you can figure out what circuit we are racing around before the end of the first race. I'm going to murder a red car. I think that might be a 910. No, it was a danger man. That's fine. Right, some not slipstream. Never mind. Less slipstream going on there. It's been a little bit of a scruffy start, if I'm honest with you. I say that. We always have the, you know, we wait on the start line so I can do the intro and everything. And this time around we were going, I don't even know who jumped the start particularly. Oh, I'm going to jump the corner. That's a big launch. Yeah, we got away with it. I mean, the car's not terrible on the landings. Can we have a look to the inside through here? This is going to be a tight chicane. Through that section there is contact up ahead we shall avoid. There is plenty of runoff area, so we'll get away with perhaps a little bit more than some of the circuits. We'll get a good slipstream run down here. There is no one behind to really put us under too much threat, and Ninetails wants to be a motorbike. Oh, Ninetails has found a wall and things have gone terribly wrong. Turns out a mini Countryman does not like being a motorbike, and yeah, that's not gone to plan. Well, there was very little a lot of us could have done in that one, unfortunately. We were talking about it before. It's a really easy mistake to make sometimes. You turn into that little bit too soon, clip the wall, and then you're in trouble. And the problem you get is when you've got as many cars close behind, we just don't have any time to react. We can't suddenly make our cars disappear. We can't suddenly make the cars vanish. And you're already committed to a corner because you're expecting it to be flat out. Whoa, and you're just not expecting there to suddenly be a very stopped car in front of you. We gave Chris a little bit of help, but yeah, it wasn't ideal through there. Struggling a little bit under brakes with the car, and it was a little bit of contact. Nothing terrible though, like that sort of contact. You'll survive. You'll get away with. I have got not much in the way of slipstream going on. It finally kicks in. Oh, we are going to murder everyone. Yep. We're going to murder everyone. We did amazingly just about get the checkpoint right. That was too much slipstream, but I left it too late. Under brakes there. Could have been way worse. That was a frantic, oh god, please don't crash into the pack. Please don't crash into the pack. We got away with it, which is a miracle, to be honest. Oh, Amy's all crossed up. We'll go around the outside. There was a tangle there between, is that Ewan and Liam, maybe? That got in trouble. There were cars all over the shop, but never mind. We have sorted that all out. No, it's not Liam. Oh, it might be Ninetails, actually. I think Ninetails has gone to the black cars as well. We will run down, and we'll be careful into this. This is actually quite a tight corner through here. My hope is that we can get a good run on the exit, not get involved with that crash that Ninetails did, and then we will try and get in slipstream with the car ahead, which we do not succeed in. No harm doing a little bit of curb boosting here, just to try and get us a little close to that group, although, yeah, we asked a bit too much of that car and lost the back end, as did everybody else. So we're all pushing hard to try and catch up. Actually, I do like these kind of, the bumps. They are good. They're not as damaging as the stop sticks. They don't cause as many problems as the stop sticks, but they certainly do discourage you from running wide, because you lose a bit of time without losing, you know, huge amounts of time and potentially becoming a danger. I guess you could spin off the bumps and then you might be a danger, but otherwise, on the most part, they're probably the safer option. Let's get this car slowed down through here. There's been a jump for one of them. That's Brazen having gone round. Don't know whether they were tagged or whether they got it carried away in the braking zone and launched off the curb. Quite possible to see that one. Looks like Impega has got to the lead of the race. There's a few more cards. He's kind of at the end of the, I don't know, the end of the braking zone, but it's almost like the cars have got a little bit of rear locking going on because they're really easy to spin under heavy braking, more so than a lot of cars in GTA. This being a relative of all the tracks that we have that we race on, this much runoff area, this sort of width of track, probably one of the better ones. Brazen was right. It's one of the better tracks if you're going to use this car. I don't think it's not a great handling car, but if you're going to race it, this is probably the the sort of circuit you want to race it on. No idea if they can bump draft. We're going to be nope. I was trying to bump draft Impega. Impega was going for a bit of curb boosting, and I did not realise that. And as Impega was, that is why you don't curb boost in a pack, because if somebody does go for a bump draft, or if somebody just gets carried away with slipstream, for an example, if you're weaving, you're much more likely to get spun. Essentially, you know, curb boosting is fair enough, but yeah, in a tightly sort of packed group like that, probably best avoided. We're on our own. Did anyone come with us over this side? No, I was trying to get some slipstream off level 8, but it wasn't going to be quite close enough. Brazen will be to the inside. I'm not going to fight that one there too hard. Brazen's gone for the launch it off of the curb approach, which has kind of worked surprisingly well, actually. This corner is going to get dicey under brakes. Oh, not gonna make that one stick. I wanted to get to the inside, but it was one of those. It would have been a half-assed attempt at a pass. I wasn't quite late enough on the brakes to really make it a decisive pass, so it was better off actually to fall into line. We will get alongside Blakey here. Not quite sure where the braking point is. We've got some movement going on. Under braking, it's shaping up to be a mad final lap. There's going to be a lot of slipstreaming towards the start-finish line here. I have none of it going on. All behind level 8. We might try and sneak around the outside first part. Get a big kick of oversteer mid-corner. We then transfer it to level 8. We straighten level 8 up though. We've both got slipstream off of mute as we head across the start-finish line. 2 laps to go. Let's not get carried away in turn 1. Danger Man has had a slide. I don't know whether it's tagged or whether it got sideways on their own. Each is equally likely, to be honest, with these cars. I was busy trying to stop my own car from being the one getting oversteery moments. Ewan's going to have a look to the inside. We're now going 4 wide. I'm going to have the moment, just the littlest of lifts, I think, is a good idea. And this is shaping up to be trouble, if I'm honest. This is one of those you can just sense. You can just sense that something's going to happen because almost the entire field is together, heading down towards the hairpin here. Or not hairpin, sorry, towards this sort of fast chicane. Actually relatively neatly done. A couple of cars got airborne, but other than that, surprisingly tame. Probably not going to last that way. However, lots of sliding through there. I had to give space to mute, but the mute didn't spin. I actually thought that car was going around at that point. That was definitely a careful, because we're expecting problems, really. I got loads of speed. I don't know about having a dive down there. We could have got to the inside. It's whether we would have got any speed on the exit of the corner. That would have been the question right there. I think we're going to end up with about 10 or 12 cars battling in this pack, which is not ideal. We're going to be up on 2 wheels through there. We're going to brush the wall a little bit, that's fine. We get great slipstream out of the final corner. And Pega was trying a different line, I think, to see what they could do with the curb on that side. But it's no match for Gliska's slipstream run through the middle. Gliska got understeer mid-corner. We got caught on the outside of that. Again, wasn't the worst thing in the world, but we definitely did get caught out. We had squeezed in Pega probably a little bit more than we should have done through all of that. We've survived, though. I mean, the race has been fantastic here, not going to lie. It's been fantastic battle. We're going to go through the middle. We'll sit in the slipstream of Impega right here, and that will be us to the lead of the race. Now, of course, we'll get repassed before we get to the bottom of this next straight. Brazen does not carry enough momentum. I've been carrying a bit too much. Oh, well, yep, we sent it over the curb. That was a big launch. That was not quite what I wanted. I daren't turn in anymore because I thought the back end was going to step out on me, which is why I let it go over that curb, but it was a hell of a flight. I think it was the better option. I think I'd rather the flight than the other problem we were going to have, which we've had again. Anyway, it is madness towards the end of this race. Ninetales is looking and looking, and there's not really a huge amount of room down here. I've got a terrible run off of that corner, but we've had a good secondary part. Like, we had a terrible initial drive off of that corner, but we have now got going. There is Gliska and Brazen having a look. We're not really going to be in this, I don't think. I think we're a little bit too far back. We've got good slipstream, but it's not going to be enough. Yeah, that's hard work. It was a good race. It was a really, really good race. Bumpy's found a bush in all of that. And it's going to be level 8 that gets the fastest lap of the race down in 10th. Oh, and breathe, really. Yeah, we just couldn't really get the slipstream run. I think we were perhaps all squabbling a little bit too much in that sort of final chicane, so no one could really get a clean run through there and carry much speed down towards the start-finish line. And Pega tried that line sort of more towards the pit lane, but that didn't quite work out. I'll take a 5th. It's not the worst position. I would have liked a little bit better, but a very good, fun race. We head into our second race. We have got a selection of sports cars, the Comet S2, the 10F, and the Coquette, whatever the new one's called, because I've forgotten. And well done if you did indeed figure out the circuit was Zolder. Actually, it's one of my favourite race circuits. It's a shame it's not in more games. I absolutely love driving this. Mostly in Project Cars 2, I think, is where I've seen it. But yeah, really, really cool circuit, this one. And a very good rendition, I have to say. Oh dear, we have had we've been pushed into a Porsche at that point. Yeah, a little bit unfortunate, but we are all fine. It's a small bump. We shall survive that one. There is a car looking to the inside. Can we get... What a good run down here, but I just got no slipstream really going on. Get across. I mean, we'll get a little bit here. Bumpy's going to fire that one a long way round. Level 8 has gone for a hell of a flight. All is fine. For us, at least. I've got... No, I'm not going to look there. It's already too wide in front. If you go and chuck it to the inside, we just like to crash into one of the cars in front. Oh, Chris... Chris rejoining managed to jump into the door of Gliska's car. Excellent stuff right there. Oh. We're going to split the Porsches. That will do nicely. So, at the moment, we've got, me and Amy, I think, representing the 10Fs. There is Brazen and Danger Man representing the Coquettes. And then we have Impega, Mute, and Ewan, representing the Comets. And then the rest of the pack is going to be joining in fairly soon. And I've got no slipstream. I'm completely the wrong side, and there is nothing to help me there. Well... Not great. I mean, we will get some slipstream. We're not going to fall off the tail end of this group. Oh, that's a lot of understeer through there. Oh! That's a nasty bit of curb. Okay, so if you have a little problem, don't try... Okay, I've learned an important lesson. Do not try and rejoin the circuit while being airborne. Basically, if you are airborne... Just goes. I actually don't even know if that would have helped at that point. I think we were going to be in trouble regardless what happened at that one, because if I'd gone straight, yeah, don't mess with the anti-track extending, curbing, whatever you want to call it. I don't know a proper name for it, because it's mean, as we found out. Oh, it's like bloody sausage curbs in real life. But, I mean, we'll get back to the back. They're going so slowly. Basically, they're in such a big group of cars that no one can take much speed through a corner. Because you've got to lift. You've got to brake for the cars around you. And, of course, the leader's being slowed down by catch-up. And, hell, they're battling 2 and 3 wide anyway. So, everyone is going a little bit slower. There's the odd bump and the odd bit of contact around the place as well that doesn't help. So, yeah, we catch back. You catch back so quickly in this. With a field like this, you're going to catch up. I mean, catch up will always, bring you back into the fight. But especially with the way this race is currently going, you are really going to join the battle very soon. Which I'm all for. That's why we run with slipstream and catch up on, is to make the racing more interesting. If you make one mistake, you are not out of the fun. We've learnt the dangers over there. That's fine. We are not going to be... We're not really having a look. We're just going to be neat and tidy through here, especially with there being a mess of cars on the outside. Apollo agrees. There was a mess of cars. We've got a good run. It'll put us up into 8th place. If I can just slow the car down. Oh, that was lucky. Level 8 turned in a little bit too much and pinged off the wall. Got flung across. We will move ourselves up into a 3rd place. And Apollo is approving of the 3rd place. Thank you, Apollo. That's very kind of you. Yes, I know. The cat moved. How dare it. We will slow for the chicane. It is moving around all over the place. That's less than ideal. The leaders have got a little bit of a breakaway. It won't last. Especially not if we've got some slipstream occurring. That's fine. I cannot do all too... I'm not going to bother. There's no real point in having a dive at that corner. It's much better off focusing on getting a good run on the exit, which we do, and we will do the pass that we wanted to. We'll get the move done in the braking zone. Or maybe overshot the braking zone just a smidge. Downside of that is it's going to make me slow on the exit, which it does. But Amy can't quite capitalise on that one. Danger Man is close behind and will also be slipstreaming. Impega with a better run to the outside. Chris is there as well, but you are on the outside of a 3 wide, and if something goes wrong, you are going to be in trouble. Yeah, there's a few too many cars trying to make it around the outside. We get oversteer. Danger Man does not carry the speed with the Coquette. We will... There's a gap. It's not a... There was a gap for a 10F that was closing. We get a hell of a shove forward from Impega. Now that works. That was a hell of a bump draft. I am fighting the good fight for the Audis at this stage. Brazen to the inside. Chris looking the long way round won't make that one work. We can focus on getting a good exit. Chris also gets a good exit though. Will that grey car be having a look? Thought about it. Doesn't in the end. Oh, trying to give Brazen room because we give Brazen room. Brazen gives us room, but we're both slow through that chicane, and it's just going to stack everybody up down here. And indeed, the pack is getting very, very, oh god, claustrophobic. Danger Man going the long way round. We're pretty much 4 wide down here. Everybody behaves themselves on the exit of that one. Brazen's having a look. There's not room for another car there. Oh, we are going to somehow make it through there. We get a kick of oversteer off of the kind of curbing. Great slingshot. That's what we need on the final lap of the race. We've just got to do that in 2 laps' time. Basically, that was perfect. We were far enough back to get a big toe, while being close enough to get there before the finish line, and no one else was, because I think they all stacked up in that final... If you're in, like, 5th place going out the chicane, it's so difficult to carry any speed, because you're so reliant on... You're probably going to be 2 wide, maybe even 3 wide. You'll be reliant, you've got to deal with all the other cars around you, you've got to base your braking point on the car ahead of you, and all of that kind of stuff. So much can go wrong in the middle of that pack. So, yeah, that's going to be an interesting one on the final lap. I mean, it was previously. We are through the next sort of chicane as we get to the exit. Chris, go across to try and get some slipstream. I've got nowhere to go, so I'm just going to bump Liam forward. It doesn't really help us. Ewan is to the inside. We are across. No. We are across. We're across the cars, desperately trying to... yeah, keep going. Like, I think I was trying to get space, but all it takes is just that little tag, the tiniest of tags on the rear of my car, and I just can't steer. And then Impega is locked on the outside. I'm going straight off the course, and Impega can't steer because, well, there's a car where they want to steer. So, not ideal. However, of all the ways that crash could have ended up, that was actually relatively nice. Impega got out of the throttle soon enough, and we didn't end up going too far off the circuit. So we're all still in the fight. The pack's a little bit more spread out than it was. Ewan bumped a wall. Oh, we've bumped her. We've just driven through a Chris on that one. That is unfortunate. They are just trying to carry speed, and Chris was slow mid-corner. Oh, that's a lot of airtime that I didn't want. We shall... I think we'll wait. Well, we waited. We'll just end up towing Chris down the next straight. Yeah, that's unfortunate. No, sadly, is how it's gone. I think Chris may have got oversteer and was just lifted, and I didn't react in time, and I was still just full throttle. And yeah, the 10F apparently pushed the cars quite well. There was plenty of pushing power right there. I mean, the pack is not that spread out, so there's going to probably be madness on the run to the line. I think we're going to be too far back to be involved in it ourselves. That being said, you never know. Oh, that might hinder us a little bit, having to dodge a spinning Stevie. The Coquettes have not looked easy to drive in places. They have really looked quite dangerous in terms of their oversteer. Oh, Chris was going for it again. It was another. There was not much of a gap there. It was just about a car's width. It's going to be, well, we're trying to fight all the plethora of Coquettes here. Are we going to be clear of Longbow? Yeah, green car has waited. It might have been involved in that crash. Didn't really see. Impega had a spin. There's a big crash up ahead towards the line. Don't think we beat Ninetales in the 7th. Ah, damn it. Yeah. We did not. It was close, but not quite. Now, Amy takes victory. Brazen is second. Danger Man gets on the podium in third, ahead of Liam, Ewan, Gliska. Gliska, I think Gliska and Brazen might have been involved in whatever crash went on at the line. Then it was Ninetales, me. Chris ends up 9th ahead of level 8, who would get fastest lap of the race. And we saw that Stevie, unlucky, had a spin at the end here. Those Coquettes did not look the most easy car in the world to drive. Very fun race, though. Really, really cool track. I like that one. It is plenty wide enough for us to try and fit far too many cars around it. Had some very good racing along the way, which is good, and apparently Apollo approves as well. But there we go. That is going to be it for this, this video. Thank you all very much for watching. Thank you to Brazen as well for building this wonderful circuit. That shall be it from me. Until next time, a goodbye.